All right, so Monday, or well, not Monday, but Thursday night football is in the books. Broncos beat the Jets 37-28. They get the banner for the win. I get the green check mark for accurately predicting this game. Having sat down and watched most of the game, I fell asleep with about 3 or 4 minutes left in the third quarter. It could have been a lot worse. It was actually, for the most part, entertaining. It was good to see Brett Rippon throw the football. I haven't seen him play in a couple of years. Honestly, kind of forgot that he was in the league. Didn't even remember that he went undrafted, as we saw in the preview video. But he had a good game, 19 for 31, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. The 3 picks are bad, yes, but it's his first game. Didn't get a lot of first team reps, short week. I give him a little bit of a pass. Melvin Gordon had a good game, 23 carries, 107 yards, two touchdowns. Thank you, Melvin Gordon, for starting my fantasy week off in a good way. And then Tim Patrick comes out of nowhere with 6 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. On the flip side of that, Sam Darnold was 23 for 42, 230 yards passing. Also led the team in rushing with a 6 for 84, and that kind of happened by accident, given the fact that all Frank Gore knows how to do is fall over for 3.5 yards every handoff. And Sam Darnold had a hell of a run in the first quarter on the opening drive for a touchdown. It was um, it was just really wild how there was absolutely no respect from the Broncos defense on that play because they all just assumed, well, he's going to go down. He's going to go down. It's Sam Darnold. He doesn't run the football. And he was just like, nope, juke you, and I'm gone. Um, Jamison Crowder had a surprisingly good game, 6 catches, 104 yards. The Broncos do end up winning, despite the first half or the first drive being, that good. And there was a scary moment where we thought the wheels were going to completely fall off because Joe Flacco entered the game. And if you don't remember, he's currently the New York Jets backup. But Sam Darnold was tackled pretty hard where his shoulder hit the ground, and it looked like he had a broken collarbone. The way he was flinching and mincing, it looked pretty bad. And the the funny thing is, not related to the injury, but the fact when he went to go under the medical tent, there was already somebody in there. So they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have enough room for the quarterback. You have to go into the stadium, back in the locker room." So he would end up returning, thank God, because Joe Flacco is not going to get you anywhere in this world, at least not now, anyway. So there was that. Mekhi Becton didn't start the game, but he ended up dressing, and his replacement got hurt on the first play, so he had no choice to play. Well, at least the Jets made it seem like he had no choice to play. And the Jets were criticized for this move pretty highly because you saw a lot of the camera finding Mekhi Becton on the bench, when the defense was on the field, sort of like holding at his shoulder from time to time. So the Jets and Adam Gase particularly caught a lot of criticism for that because they felt like, this is the cornerstone of your offense. This is the first building block, the major building block. Don't ruin this kid in a meaningless game in what feels like is already a meaningless season because this roster is so untalented and it's definitely going to struggle to win two, maybe even 3 games. So there was that aspect of it. The Broncos walked off the field at the end of the game because they decided not to shake hands, and it was probably a good thing because the Broncos were upset at the alleged cheap shots that the Greg Williams defense was taking, and it's not out of the realm of possibility to believe that the Broncos have, reason to be correct about that because Greg Williams has a history and it has followed him forever. And I'm not personally a fan of his all the way because of all the way back to Bountygate. So it doesn't surprise me that it happened, and I think Vic Fangio made the correct call to just get his team off the field and get the game over with. And even in the post game press conference, Adam Gase was asked about it, and he says, he didn't see any malice about it or anything nefarious about it. He's worked with Adam Gase has worked with Vic Fangio in the past, so he wasn't really surprised, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be have anything to say about it other than if Greg Williams becomes head coach, which has no likelihood to happen. According The Athletic is reporting that despite the 0-4 start to the season and that this team just being really bad and undisciplined with all the penalties, that Adam Gase's job is safe, which I can't believe. Um, so it looks like he's going to be in for the long haul, which I'm sorry to say to Jets fans who are still around and paying attention to football this year that it's going to be a long ride. And if they wait until the end of the season to fire him, the only reason I would be able to understand that logic and thinking would be that they don't want to make Greg Williams the head coach, and they have nobody else. So it's funny how Greg Williams keeps ending up in these interim roles, or at least potentially these interim roles. And I think the Jets probably realize that that wouldn't make anything better, so they're just going to completely tank this season. They're not going to remove Adam Gase, so unfortunately, I think Sam Darnold at the end of this is probably going to be headed for another team, because if you kind of follow that route that the Athletics reporting that they're going to keep him till the end of the year, that's when you do your complete overhaul. Is after the season's over, you get rid of everybody top to bottom. The GM's gone, the head coach is gone, the coaching staff is out, and then they go into the draft where Lawrence Fields or Trey Lance are going to be available. They select their new quarterback, and the regime change takes over. So it's not looking good for Sam Darnold in a New York Jets uniform for 2021. So that's the Thursday night game. Not too terrible, but it's pretty entertaining if you go into it with the context that you get to see Brett Rippon for the first time, and then you get to see what sort of a dumpster fire the Adam Gase-led New York Jets team really is. And we got to see both of that. I was excited to see Jerry Jeudy get to play. That was that was a really great Randy Moss-esque catch that he made over the top of the defender to snatch the ball away, and then just the stare down into the end zone was just as good. All right, so the other big topic of the day is always the Friday injury report. That's kind of why I do this video a little bit late, so that I can, sort of include that in the video. A lot of big names are going to be missing football this weekend. Michael Thomas, Chris Godwin, Cam Akers, Jared Cook, Jimmy Garoppolo, Raheem Mostert, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Pittman Jr., and even Leonard Fournette. The questionables are a little concerning, but I think given most of these guys' history that they're going to play, especially somebody like DeAndre Hopkins, who just apparently plays through every single injury known to man. Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Zach Moss, Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde, and Kareem Hunt. I would probably expect almost all of them, maybe not Chris Carson, to play this weekend. And then the ins are some good news for, if these guys are on your fantasy team and you've been missing them for a while. George Kittle, DJ Chark, John Brown, Duke Johnson, and Will Fuller, who has been on and off, mysteriously, the injury report for this week. And I say that in that tone and manner because he's on my fantasy team, and he's my only wide receiver that hasn't missed a week due to injury, because I don't know, I'm cursed this year. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. We'll do something fun.